Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine, and I have a project to share with you today. We are working through our Ocean Main Lesson Block, and I have a 6-year-old and an 11-year-old, and we're going to use this book called Creative Form Drawing by Angela Lord for a project that includes form drawing, and it represents some of the ocean lessons that we've done. So I've picked out a couple of forms in here, and the first one is just this wavy line here to kind of represent the waves and the ocean. And you can see how this form builds and can change into different shapes. I also picked out this spiral here, and we recently studied shells and the nautilus in particular, and this is going to represent some of those growths that the shells go through, and so this spiral is going to be perfect for that. Now we are going to do this on a watercolor paper, and this is not typical, but I'm going to show you why. We're using our this is Stockmore crayons. These are beeswax crayons, and they're really waxy, and we are going to be using our Stockmore watercolors. I've got this set here, and there's a particular blue that I really like. I think it's this one here. So this is Prussian blue, and I've already mixed a little bit of it here with some water. And we are going to do our form drawings on watercolor paper, and then we're going to watercolor the whole paper with our watercolor paint, and then you're going to be able to see those form drawings emerge from the watercolor paint. And I also have a couple of paintbrushes I'm going to show you here. This is the wide paintbrush that's typically used for young children, maybe kindergarten and first grade. I also have another one here that's an angled tip, and this would be good as well. And I also have another one that's just a really broad tip here, just really full, and this will be really easy to get a lot of water and paint onto our page. Now we're not going to wet our paper first because we do want to have a dry surface for our crayons. So let's get started with this project. So I would suggest we use colors in the blues and greens. I think we'll do the waves first, and we'll really be able to see the different colors of blue if we use blues and greens. Yeah? Okay, so here's a green. Here's a blue. Yep. Here's another one, and you can also use the block crayons too. So we're just going to do the... It doesn't matter because we're going to alternate them anyway. So we are going to start on the left side, and you can keep your pinky kind of on the page. Oh, yours is... Hold on a second. Let's move this down a little bit.
Is this left?
Yes. Okay, we're good. We're going to start on the left side, and we can start about an inch down from the top. And you can keep your pinky on the paper in order to kind of guide where you're going to go. It's going to be a little tight here, but we're going to do our best. Keep your elbow up so that you have the flexibility to move all the way across the page. We don't want any sharp peaks. We're just going to do soft peaks all around. You can hold a crayon like this, you can hold it like this, but whatever you do, I don't want you keeping your wrist stationary on the page. You won't be able to get a good form that way. All right, so we're just going to start on one side, and you can do your waves as large or as small as you'd like. So the only thing that I think we should try to do so that it really shows through when we watercolor is to go over it a couple of times. Then you can go backwards the same way if you want. All right, so for the next line, that's excellent. For the next line, you can go right under where you did your first form, or you can touch your form. So I'm going to show you both ways, okay? Let's go a little bit below it, and you can just do the same form and just follow the same design that you did. And if you want, you can take your crayon and you can go right underneath the form that you already did, and you can kind of color it in like that. Okay? And you can go forward and backwards if you'd like. That's beautiful. Excellent. I'm going to take another green. Excellent.
Do I copy over this one?
If you'd like to, yeah, because the more wax we get on the page, the more that's going to show through when we watercolor.
Wax?
Yeah, because the crayons are made with wax. All right, so the next thing we can do, you want a different color? You want this color? I also have the block as well. You can use the block. You want it? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is you can do the same form, or now you can try to make it a little bit. That's okay. We're just going to do a variety of blues and greens. The next form we're going to do is either the same one. You can do the same one if you want, or you can go tighter. I'm going to show you both, okay? So if you want to do the same one, you can come right under where you already did your form, and you can come right under. And I've got my pinky on the page, and I'm using that to guide my hand, but my elbow is up off the page and my wrist is up off the page, okay? So let me show you that again. You can just come right underneath and follow the same form.
The blocks are.
In the color that I already did.
There should be a couple of blues. If you want, you can even add purple in it. Excellent. Beautiful. All right, so for the next line, oh, I like the purple. That's beautiful. All right, so for the next line, we are going to try, like say for the next half of the page, we're going to do a form that's a little bit tighter.
I don't have a color.
Here, you can take this one. You want this one?
What about this path?
Yeah. No, don't draw a line. Just, leave it because we're going to fill in more.
What color do I use?
Do you want this color?
I've already used this color.
That's okay. We're going to use multiple. We're going to use those same colors over and over again. So you've already done a tight form. Do you want to try doing a little bit looser?
Sure.
Okay. So try to follow mine. I will do a small trace here, and you can trace over it. So you can go over this line like this, or this wave. All right. So then below here, I'm going to do a tighter wave. So we're going to go up and down.
Below where? Here?
Yeah. And I'm going to go over this again. So it's actually really tricky going over it again because you can't really see
There.
where you're going. Well, you can go backwards and see where you're going this way.
Can I switch?
Yeah. There you go. And then what you can do is you can come and you can touch the same form that you did. And now I'm going from the right to the left.
In green?
In green.
It's just like above it?
Yeah. And then I'm going to take another green and I'm going to tuck in right next to that same form. Can I move your paper just a tad? There you go.
There.
Excellent. Okay, you're nearly done. I'm going to go ahead and do another form right here. I'm going to show you one more thing that you can do, and I kind of already did it here, and that is to do a mirror image, and these are a little bit tricky. So instead of copying the same form, let me go from right to left for this one just to go over it and make it a little bit darker. Okay, so instead of going and doing the same form right underneath, we are going to do a mirror image. So we're going to start.
Wait, what did you do?
We're going to do a mirror image.
So you did one right here?
Yeah, which you can just do the mirror image to this one if you want.
Now
You want to do another one? Oh, so go ahead and do a tight wave, or
So I did
semi-tight
a
wave.
blue right here.
Yeah, yours is great. What you can do is you can go over the lines if you want, or you can just leave it, and we're going to add some watercolors in a minute.
But I can't. I like it like this.
You like it that? It's,
Can I just put some water on?
yeah, but not yet, sweetheart, because we need to do the back side first. Okay, are we ready to do the mirror image? Yeah? Okay, so to
How?
do the mirror image, you don't exactly have a lot of space to do that, so I'm going to have you skip this part. What you're going to do is you're going to, the starting point almost looks the same. The starting point is going to be below your previous form by maybe about 1/2 inch. And instead of following the form, you're just going to go and do the mirror image. So instead of going up, you're going to go down. And then you're going to come up where this one is down. And you're just going to follow.
So like this, but not as big?
The only problem is that you've got peaks. Let me show the peaks. All right, so you've got it. You're getting close, but you've got peaks. And actually, maybe because you sort of have a peak as well here. You want it to be kind of a smooth wave. And you're kind of making those smooth by going over it a couple of times. Very
There's
nice.
some brown.
You did which ones?
Mhm.
Excellent. Oh, you did a couple of little waves in the middle. That's cute. All right, so let's go over that a couple more times.
Okay, let's see.
And then we're going to add some watercolors. So there isn't room to do oh, actually don't put brown because we want to put blue on this with the watercolor. So don't put brown on it yet. I'm going to have you put this one right here and I'm going to show the mirror image again. Yeah, I'm going to go over it a couple of times because it kind of softens the form, and also the more wax we have here,
I
the
like
more...
it.
Do you want
Like
mine? I love it.
So should you take?
We're going to switch, yeah. So the last thing I'm going to do, I really like this green. I'm going to come in and do, let me go on this side. It's actually a little easier to go on this side to follow the form. And I am going to just give it some more color.
Does this look good?
It's beautiful. Don't you like it?
Yeah, now can I put
Actually, I want to add a little yellow to it. Yes, we're going to do that. You want yellow too? Do you want it in the block or the stick?
Stick.
Stick, here you go. Oops, sorry. And I want to just show you, this one needs to be cleaned a little bit, but let me show you. You can also use the wide, well, this would be actually the edge of your block crayon to do the form as well. This would give you, yeah, you can try this. You've run out of space, so how about you do it right over a little, the green. And I'm going to come in here with this one here. And I like the yellow. Are you done with the yellow or should I use this yellow? Let me try this yellow.
Like it? Like it? And I really don't have any space.
I know, but don't worry, there's still enough space for the watercolor. All right, so I think that I have done enough. Okay, 1 second. Let's move this stuff because we don't want to get watercolor on any of this. So let's go ahead and put this away. Because we are going to be using the back side, let's flip the paper over and do our drawing first, because then when we do our watercolor, it'll be easier than to watercolor, wait for it to dry, and then, you know, do the next one. So you're going to get a little bit of wax on the table, but that's okay. For this one, we're also going to do ocean colors, but I think for the representation of the nautilus shell, we can do different colors if you want.
Trade?
Yeah, do you want to do like reds and oranges? Yeah, we can trade our papers when we're done. So let me show you how to do this. Wow, we're really running out of that red. All right, so let me show you how to do this one.
Red and some yellow. No, some...
Okay, here you go.
This yellow.
Okay.
Red and some yellow.
So for this one, we can do it in one of two ways. Let me show you the book really quickly. All right. So for this one, we can start at the outside and spiral in, or we can start from the inside and spiral out.
The outside, so that we get how much we're using. Like, so that we get a picture of how much we are actually using.
Okay, so before we actually start this, it recommends that we try doing a spiral in the air. Like with just your fingers, you can draw a spiral in the air. You can kind of imagine how it's going to go. Now the thing about a spiral, in this drawing, it looks all pretty even, but in a nautilus, it's actually not even. It has a different shape. So let me go grab the nautilus. All right, so we have this book called Growing Patterns, and it has all of these different geometric spirals and patterns in nature. And we're going to go all the way to this one here. And so you can see that the spiral here is really tight in the beginning, and then it gets really wide at the end. Whereas these spirals are a little bit more even throughout. So we're going to do a mix of both. Let's see where it goes. Okay, do you have your crayon? Let's start with one in which we spiral. Which would you prefer? Outside in or inside out?
Outside in.
Outside in? Outside in? Okay.
Trace one, then I do one.
Yeah. Now how about I trace one on yours first? And how about I give you one big one in the center? Is that okay? Do you want your spiral to look like the ones in the book, or do you want it to look like a nautilus shell?
Whichever one you're gonna do.
I'm gonna do a little bit of both. Okay, so the first one I'm gonna give you is one that's kind of like in the book. So I'm gonna try to make it kind of even all the way through. For this one, I had my arm up the whole time and I just went through with the tip of the crayon. So do you want to come here and try this one? This is a little bit more challenging. So since this form is a little bit more challenging, what I would recommend that you do, my doll, is to keep going with a different color and just keep tracing, but not exactly a trace. Go right on the inside. So instead of going right on top, you can go right on the inside, and that can be yours all the way through. You know what? Is it going to be easier? Try going from the inside out, maybe. Okay, so you and I. Do you want? Didn't you say outside in?
Yeah, but no.
If you do from the inside out.
And outside in.
Okay, so if you do from the outside in, I think we can get a more even spiral. If you do from the inside out, I think you can get a spiral that's like a nautilus shell.
Yeah,
so what I think is that we should do one main one in the center, and then we can do 4 on the outside, and then you can do like say the nautilus shell on the inside and then 4 spirals on the outside. Do you want to try that?
A nautilus on the inside, then just 1 or 2.
No, and then in each corner you can just do a regular spiral, a smaller spiral. Okay, so for the nautilus spiral, in the center it's going to be really tight. Oh, very lovely, very good. All right, so it's going to be very tight. And then it's going to get really big.
Here's some nautilus.
Excellent. I think yours might be closer to a regular spiral, but that's okay. You can try doing your nautilus spirals on the other side. Yeah, these, and you can make a little bit more of one last loop right in the center, like so it just looks like it's super tiny right in the center. Like that. Let's see, move your hand for a minute. Yeah, that's really great. Okay, so you can go ahead and just do a couple more spirals on the outside. And she did, oh, that's cute. That looks like a G on the inside. All right, so then I am gonna go ahead and do a couple spirals on mine as well. All right, so then I am just going to do a couple of spirals. I'm gonna go from the inside out. So it seems easy to do these spirals, but they're actually a little bit complicated. Okay, so we're gonna go from the inside out. Okay, and then let's try one on the other side here. And we're going to go from the outside in. So let me hold this in place. Okay, and let's do one more at the top here. Again from the outside, or from the inside out. And then let's do one here. Let's go from the outside in. They both have their unique challenges, and trying to keep it as even as you can for each interior spiral is actually pretty challenging. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple more spirals, and I'm just going to do a mixture of starting from the inside out and the outside in. Are we ready to, oh, that's beautiful. I like those colors. All right, so.
Do you like mine?
Yours turned out lovely.
So do you want to try?
Yeah, for sure.
What is that?
Now we're gonna do the watercolors, and I have blue and a little bit of green. So let me get a little palette for you guys. Okay, I think I'm gonna have you do this one.
But it smells like something.
Okay, sure.
Pink.
That's fine.
White.
And we're gonna have a little bit of this blue, and we also have a little bit of our Heidi swap. This is in chartreuse, and I am going to put it in the lid. So you can mix those colors a little bit if you'd like. So the first thing you want to do is we are going to get our page wet. And since I do not see my spray bottle, do you know where the spray bottle is?
No.
Okay, then we're just going to use our paintbrush. We're just going to use the paintbrush. So use the paint. This is just water. So let's go over the whole page with just some water. And then we'll use the, yeah, you can gently, don't, we actually need another water container for you, and I believe that it's in the schoolroom. Unless you want to reach over here. You want to reach over here? I don't know if that one's going to fit in there.
It does. So we just
it's like a mermaid's tail.
It's like a mermaid's tail. We're going to get everything wet with water first, and then we can use the paper towel. Don't dry it like that. Let's just pat dry it, because I don't know if any of this is going to... How did you get blue there? Okay, so you can just like mop up the extra water.
Okay.
Are you almost ready?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get everything? Now, do you want to use this one for your color?
Sure.
Okay. So, I think yours is maybe could use a little bit more water, actually. Do you want to start with blue or green?
Green.
Green?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the green. Let me add a little water to this green so it's not so... Ooh, that's pretty. And
It looks good.
Can I see it?
So you need the paper towel? Here you go. And I'm going to start with the...
Wet.
Yeah.
I mean, like sopping.
Yeah. And I'm going to start with the...
Just to kind of coat it.
May I borrow the light?
Sure.
Alright. Oops, I'm dripping. I am dripping blue. Alright, so I'm just going to go right over it. Ooh.
No. Then there's no point in us doing the watercolor.
Oh, look at mine.
Yeah, isn't that exciting? I love it.
Wait, there's no point in us doing. Oh, it's getting on the desk.
Yeah, I got
But
it
then
on the
why
desk.
did we color first? We should have waited it until it dried to
No,
color.
no. Check this out. I'm going to add a little bit of the
These tiny
Oh, wow,
anti-paper.
look at those colors. That's
Oh,
just
that's cool.
gorgeous.
Oh, look at it.
Isn't it pretty? Should I go get the salt as
Pretty
well?
cool.
It is pretty cool. I love it. I actually like it where there's a lot of the crayon. That is really cool. And I really like the way that the color, the water kind of pooled right here, and then it's not spreading out. I think we should wait till it dries. So the front side is dry, and I decided not to have the kids paint the back side just because we just kind of changed our mind. And so we're having one side with the paint and the form drawing, and then the other side we're just going to leave it just with the form drawing. It's a little bit more challenging to get the color onto watercolor paper. You can see that it kind of hits all the ridges, so it's a lot easier to work with drawing paper, and the only reason why we wanted to work with the watercolor paper is to do the watercoloring. But in general, I would just recommend that you just do this on regular drawing paper, and even printer paper would work just as well. So this is what they look like. This is my daughter's, and this is the other side, and then this is my sample. So my son, who is 11, this is going to go into his main lesson book, and it's a free sheet of paper now, but later we're going to bind his whole book together, just taking it to the office supply store and just having it a spiral bound. So if you want to check out some of the other projects that we're doing, either with our kindergarten and first grade series or with our 6th grade main lesson blocks, you can tap on the screen right now.